Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the art model, Richard. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
John, how you doing?
Great, thank you, man. Good to see you. Hey, Richard, I would love to tune in to some of your modeling work. Okay, if we tune in some of that now?
Sure.
Okay, terrific. All right, everyone, let's look at some of the modeling work from Richard the art model. Hey, Richard, nice work, man. Good to see you in a variety of different images. Can you tell me, where are you from and how did you get to become an art model?
Well, John, I'm from Melbourne in Australia,
Hmm,
a long way away, huh?
yeah.
And I've been doing work as a life model, as an art model for years and years. I started way back in the 80s when I was quite young, and then I kind of dropped out, went in, did regular jobs, and then more recently got back into art modeling and do a lot of work with artists, sculptors, painters, and I also have even more recently been doing a lot of work with photographers and I guess art nude photography modeling, which is really interesting in itself.
Absolutely. And also, doing this in Australia, I mean, do you find that there's anything in particular in terms of, I mean, you as the subject for these artists, are there landscapes and other kinds of locations that are typical for where maybe these shoots would take place?
Uh, yeah, often enough we do shoots in nature, so the nude in nature, and so you're sort of counterposed against rocky landscapes or maybe in a bush setting. Sometimes it's studio work, and the emphasis there is on lighting and shape, and really trying to sort of get some interesting effects. And I like doing both. Studio work's fun because you can be really quite creative with the things that you do in the studio.
Right, exactly. Some of the props and different things that might be part of the story that is the image. I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
let me ask this question. When you were considering being an art model, how did you discover it? Were there other people that were doing it or other models or personalities that were involved that made you inspired to want to become a model yourself?
Well, yeah, it started with somebody sort of basically asking me if they could draw me.
Okay.
So I sort of, posed for them, and I thought, this is okay. I can do this. And so I started to do modeling for classes, usually community colleges and things like that, where they would do art classes. I started to work as a model that way. That's how I kind of progressively got into it. And I guess after a while you build a little bit of a list, a bit of a reputation, and people, call you up and say, "Hey, you available?" And
Right.
then sort of as I sort of as I developed, over the years, I suppose I got more into the photography side. Similar thing, people, you get to know people, they call on you. Uh, I've got a particular body type and age. It's not sort of classic, sort of commercial youth and beauty style modeling. It's
Right.
more your art modeling, and I think it's really important as an older model to be visible. You get to a certain age, you can become quite invisible. People sort of look right past you. And I think, older people should be visible. They should be something that you can see. We should sort of be represented in art and in the media. So I
Yeah,
kind of feel like I'm doing my bit for the
I
over
think that's good.
60s.
Yeah, I think what you say is true. Like, you know what I mean? For all the spectrums of the age groups should be represented in media and in art. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that too. Now, listen, when you actually are a subject of an artist, um, you know, I imagine that there's a certain amount of discipline that it takes to be still, to be in the pose or in the position that the artist is preferring you to be in. You know, is that do you use meditation or other some kind of form to be able to be so present and so still. It's almost, I mean, it's a real practice, I would think.
It is. It does take practice, and the more experience you get, the better you get. I wouldn't say it's meditation, but it is a presence of mind and a
Ah,
sort of being in the now, and an ability to sort of just to you know be conscious of what you're doing, but at the same time kind of hit that sort of meditative state. You also need to be mindful of what kind of pose. If it's a really short 1 minute, 2 minute pose, you can really go all out and do really dynamic things. If you know you're going to sit for 20 minutes, you need to be a bit more thoughtful about the kind of pose that you can hold for 20 minutes. It can still be dynamic, but you have to, and after a while, you get experience in knowing what works and what doesn't. Many a
right.
time I've sort of started a pose and 10 minutes in, I thought, oh no, oh, this is going to hurt.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But part of, you know what I mean, I bet you feel a certain obligation to stay in that position, or, for that artist who's in deep concentration, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a real kind of exchange that may be happening between a subject and the artist that may even go unspoken. It's almost like an energetic communication that's taking place without words at times,
Yeah,
I imagine.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Sometimes sometimes it's better than others too. But you really get that sense of, you really feel like you are contributing in great part to the artistic process, and that's what I love about it.
Most definitely. And so what are you working on right now, or what's coming up for you, Richard?
Well, I guess you know we've been on and off here in Melbourne. We've been on and off in lockdown, and COVID has certainly put a damper on a lot of the face-to-face classes and groups. So the activity level has been quite low, particularly last year. Things are starting to sort of get normal again, and groups are starting to restart their life modeling and drawing. Photographers are going out and making arrangements again. So at the moment, I'm sort of building up the sort of life modeling side of things. I just had a shoot last week, and I've got another one coming up in a couple of weeks for a photographer, studio work, shadow type work. So,
Right.
so
That's
I,
great.
I, it's not something that you could absolutely live off, but it's certainly something that I can do pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Once, twice a week.
It's great because it's almost like, your art form and being an art model that helps kind of facilitate or contribute to more art being, created.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're all for here at Phoenix 360. So glad that you're a part of it. And we're going to want people to connect with you for the possibility for commercial shoots, for the possibility to be used as subjects in other kinds of visual arts and other forms of video
Yeah.
media art.
Yeah.
And so we will look forward to posting your social links then. Do you use your social media as a
I
means to
do. I use
communicate? Yeah.
Instagram, and I've got a website. There's a few
Great.
places, but the Instagram is probably a good place to make contact.
Excellent,
Um,
Richard. Well, then we will post those links below our interview today. And we're also looking for your rise on Phoenix 360 and presenting you and your work there. So thank you so much for being a part of it and for visiting with me today. Really
Thanks
appreciate
very
you.
much. Thanks very much for speaking to me, John.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. You take care, Richard. Everyone, tune into the social media channels you find for Richard the Art Model below and look for him on Phoenix 360. Thanks, Richard. Take care.
Thank you.